I'm coming.
I thought I'd hit the jackpot when I found the apartment. Downtown location, newly renovated building, hardwood floors, and the rent was somehow $400 below market rate. My friends told me there had to be a catch. Bad neighborhood, nightmare landlord, something. But when I toured the place with the property manager, everything seemed perfect. The building just finished a complete renovation 6 months ago, he explained as we walked through the empty unit. We're still filling vacancies, so we're offering competitive rates. I signed the lease that afternoon. Move-in day was a Saturday in October. The building was one of those early 1900s structures. Beautiful old architecture mixed with modern amenities. There were only 8 units total, spread across 4 floors. Mine was 3B. As I was hauling boxes up the stairs, I noticed how quiet it was. I didn't see or hear a single neighbor all day. When I mentioned it to the property manager during the key handoff, he just shrugged. Most tenants work weekends. You'll meet people eventually. That first night, I ordered pizza and started unpacking. Around 11 p.m., I heard footsteps in the hallway outside my door. They stopped right at my threshold. I waited for a knock that never came. Then I heard papers sliding under my door. I walked over and picked up a small yellowed note card. The handwriting was shaky, written in blue ink. Tenant 3B. Reminder. Quiet hours begin at 10 p.m. No music, television, or excessive noise. Please respect your neighbors. I felt a flash of embarrassment. Had I been too loud? I didn't think so, but maybe the walls were thinner than I realized. I made a mental note to keep it down and went to bed. The next morning, I found another note. This one was slipped under my door sometime during the night. Tenant 3B. The thermostat is set to 68 degrees building-wide. Individual adjustments waste energy and increase costs for all tenants. Please comply. I stared at the note, confused. I hadn't touched the thermostat. It was still set to 68, exactly where it had been when I moved in. I decided to talk to whoever was leaving these notes. I went to units 3A and 3C, knocking on both doors. No answer at either one. I tried the second floor. Nothing. The first floor. Still nothing. It was like I was the only person in the entire building. That week, the notes kept coming. Tenant 3B. Trash must be taken to the basement bin before 9 p.m., not left in the hallway. But I never left trash in the hallway. Tenant 3B. Guest parking is limited to 2 hours. Your visitor overstayed. I hadn't had any visitors. Tenant 3B. Laundry room is available on a first-come basis. Monopolizing machines is inconsiderate. I'd never even been to the laundry room yet. Each note was written in that same shaky handwriting, on the same type of yellowed cardstock. They felt old, like they'd been written years ago, not yesterday. I started to feel watched. On Friday night, I decided to stay up and catch whoever was delivering these notes. I sat in my living room with the lights off, phone in hand, waiting by the door. At 11:47 p.m., I heard the footsteps. Slow, deliberate steps coming down the hallway. They stopped right outside my door. I held my breath, watching the gap beneath the door. A shadow appeared. Then a note slid through. I yanked the door open immediately. The hallway was empty. Completely empty. I looked both ways. Nobody. The stairwell door at the end of the hall was closed. There was no way someone could have disappeared that fast. I picked up the note with trembling hands. Tenant 3B. Do not open your door after midnight. Building security protocol. My hands were shaking as I locked the door and backed away from it. The next morning, I went to the property management office. I needed answers. But when I arrived, there was a new person at the desk. a young woman I'd never seen before. "I need to speak to the property manager," I said. "The man who showed me the apartment." She looked confused. "I'm sorry. Who are you referring to?" "I'm the property manager. I've been managing this building for 3 years. "No, the older man. Gray hair, glasses. He was here when I signed my lease 2 weeks ago." Her expression changed. She pulled up something on her computer, then looked at me with concern. "Ma'am, our previous property manager was named Donald Reese. He passed away 6 months ago. Heart attack in the building's basement. I took over after his death." The room started spinning. "That's impossible. I met with him. He gave me the keys." She turned her monitor toward me. There was a photo of the man I'd met. Donald Reese, according to the caption. Below it, "In Memoriam, 1957 to 2024. "Who gave you the keys to 3B? She asked, carefully. "He did. Donald. I trailed off, my mind racing. "Wait, you said he died in the basement?" She nodded slowly. "In the superintendent's office. We haven't filled that position yet. The basement is technically off limits." "Can I see it?" She hesitated, then grabbed a key ring. "Follow me." We took the stairs down to the basement level. The air grew colder with each step. At the bottom, there was a long hallway with exposed pipes along the ceiling. At the end of the hall was a door marked Superintendent. The property manager unlocked it. The office was small and cramped. There was an old desk covered in paperwork, a filing cabinet, and a bulletin board on the wall covered in notes and schedules. But what made my blood run cold was what I saw on the desk. A stack of yellowed note cards, blank ones, and a blue pen. "He lived in this office," the property manager said quietly. "Donald was obsessive about the building. He basically never left. Tenants used to complain about his constant notes about rule violations, noise complaints, things that didn't even make sense. The company tried to force him to retire, but he refused." I picked up one of the blank cards. Same texture, same yellowed color. "After he died," she continued, "we found notebooks full of tenant logs. He'd been documenting everything. When people came and went, what they ate, who visited them. It was disturbing. We cleared most of it out, but I guess we missed these cards." I looked at the bulletin board. Among the schedules and maintenance notes, there were tenant names listed. And there, in the corner, handwritten on a piece of paper, "Unit 3B, vacant. Must maintain protocols until new tenant arrives." Below it, a list of rules. The same rules I'd been receiving on notes. "He never knew someone moved into 3B, I whispered. The property manager's face went pale. "What do you mean?" "The notes. I've been getting notes slipped under my door every night. The same rules that are on this list." She took a step back. That's not possible. Nobody has access to this office but me, and I certainly haven't been leaving you notes." That night, I set up my phone to record the hallway through my door's peephole. I had to know. At 11:47 p.m., the exact same time as before, my phone captured it. Footsteps approaching. But no one was visible in the frame. Then, the note slid under my door. On camera, I could see it happen, but there were no hands pushing it. The note just appeared from beneath the door, as if guided by invisible fingers. I watched the footage 3 times, my stomach turning. Then I noticed something else. In the recording, just for a split second when the note appeared, there was a shadow on the wall opposite my door. a silhouette of a man, hunched over, exactly where someone would stand if they were sliding a note under the door. But in the frame where the hallway was visible, nobody there. I grabbed the note that had been delivered. Tenant 3B, final warning. Building inspection tomorrow, 3 a.m. Superintendent access required. Please ensure compliance. Building inspection. At 3 a.m. Superintendent access. He was coming inside. I didn't sleep. I sat in my living room with every light on, watching the door. At 2:58 a.m., I heard the footsteps in the hallway again. They stopped at my door. Then I heard something that made my blood turn to ice. The sound of keys jingling. The metallic scrape of a key sliding into my lock. The deadbolt turned. The door handle started to rotate. I screamed and ran toward the door, slamming my weight against it. The door stopped opening, meeting resistance. I heard a sound from the other side. Not quite a voice, more like air escaping from somewhere deep and hollow. "This is my unit," I screamed. "You don't work here anymore. You're dead." The pressure against the door suddenly released. The keys stopped jingling. Silence. I stood there, shaking, my shoulder pressed against the door for what felt like hours. When the sun finally came up, I packed everything I owned in less than 2 hours. I called the property manager and told her I was breaking my lease, and I didn't care about losing my deposit. Before I left, I slipped one final note under the superintendent's office door in the basement. Superintendent, Tenant 3B has vacated the premises. Unit is now empty. No further protocols necessary. I never went back to that building. But sometimes, late at night, I still wake up in my new apartment and check under my door, just to make sure there's no yellowed note card waiting for me. Because part of me wonders, if Donald Reese kept such detailed logs of all his tenants, does he know where I live now?